And we're back, guys. Another episode of the Kaizai podcast, episode number 6. Thank you for tuning in with another very, very, very special guest, Miss Lauren Lane, the first woman on my podcast. So it's an honor to have you on. Thank you so much for coming and having your time of day.
Thank you for having me.
So a quick recap of who you are. But before we go into that, I just got to do some shout outs to the sponsors of our podcast. So obviously, one of the best beers in Bali, Kura beer. You all know about that. Kaizai for 10% off all purchases. Links will be in description. Be sure to check them out. And we actually have a brand new sponsor as well, Mason Chocolates right here. Delicious, vegan, homemade artisan Balinese chocolate on the island of gods. So if you are into chocolates, have a sweet tooth, this is the chocolate you want to get. They're available throughout all convenience stores in Bali. Links will be in the description, masonchocolate.com. Check them out. We're actually going to have a bite of these later on when we get a little bit hungry. We can do a review, chocolate review.
Yum.
Check us out on TikTok. We have short clips from each episode, 30 seconds. Kaizai Instagram, all that good stuff. Links will be in the description below. If you want to get Kaizai lighters, they're available now. Also links in the description. Kaizai keychains. You gotta rep it. Worldwide vision. Let's get into it. And sorry, one more mention before we get into it. If you want to come and you're a creative person and you want to get stuff done in Bali, come to Genesis. This is the studio in Canggu. And if you want to paint, if you want to do a podcast, if you want to make music, this is the spot. So check them out. So, Miss Lauren Lane.
What's up?
Little recap of the viewers. Tell them who you are. Tell them what you do. Tell them where you're from. Just briefly. So if anyone doesn't know who you are, which I'm sure they do, but just a little recap of who you are.
My name is Lauren Lane, and I am a DJ. I play house music, deep house, tech house. From the United States. I was living between Los Angeles and Ibiza up until this past year, 2020, like rocking everyone's world. Now I'm here in Bali and kind of just like taking a new twist on life right now.
New chapter in the book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, Lauren, let's start into your early age of you when you were younger. Did you always know you would want to be a DJ, or you always loved music when you were younger? Was it something that you were passionate about in school, or did it just come to you one day?
I always loved music, and I loved to dance. I was like doing dance classes from when I was like 3 to like 17. So kind of was like always in my blood and like my movement and just like things I really enjoyed doing. I played like the piano and the flute. Sporadically. And
can you still play them to this day?
I mean, I can kind of, not so good. I would actually really like to get better at playing piano again. Yeah. That's one of my goals for when I'm out of work right now, is to get better at doing that. But I love music. I was always hunting for music at like a really young age. I had like a really wide array of music I like, from my parents' collection, from classic rock to Motown to disco to 80s music.
Nice. The whole.
And then I got into like 90s hip hop, and then eventually into like house music, electronic music, techno.
So that came later down.
That came later when I was like coming into my own, just kind of like out in the world. I think that
genre of music does though. Like you don't really like start your music career just with techno. I think you build into that genre of music. Everyone starts off, like you said, what their parents influence you on, and then when you go down your own lane, you figure out what you actually like, and techno comes down later.
Definitely. I agree. So? I think that more so now that it's become so mainstream, I hate using that word, but it's more accessible, let's say, than ever before.
100%.
That maybe people get into it earlier in life. Like I have some friends that have like small kids, and they like all like love to like play DJ, and they love like EDM music or like even like bass music, and they're like rocking out to that. So I'm like, whoa, like what is gonna happen to this generation? Like if they're starting out with this, where is this gonna go?
With the technology as well, we're in for a ride. Definitely.
Seriously.
So you would say the first impact in music was through your parents, and then from there you always had interest through school, played the piano and the flute, obviously, and then from there you just found your own lane in the love of music.
Yeah,
basically.
I was just always like into hunting for music and like making mixtapes and like mix CDs for my friends. Like Sick. Kids probably don't even know what a mix CD is anymore, but
I'm sure they do. we're not that young on here. Do you remember the first time you actually went and DJ'd for, let's say, a crowd of people or at a venue, and this was your first actual gig? Do you remember that? Do you want to share something?
I definitely remember that. I was shaking. I played vinyl when I first started DJing, so I like carried my crates. It was in New York City, and I
hustling
carried my crates like I could barely carry them. And I remember the promoter was standing outside and he just like laughed at me because I was like struggling so much.
You didn't even say you want a hand with that. He just straight up laughed at you.
No, he helped me once he saw me, but he saw me like coming all the way down the block.
Just shuffling your way in. No, but that's hustling. You know, if you're on your own and you know your mission, you're there and you're getting to it. You got gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly.
It all starts somewhere.
I was determined, and
Yeah.
I just went in there and I was like shaking. I had to like throw the needle on the record, literally like.
Yeah. So this is in New York.
This is in
Whereabouts?
New York.
Where specifically, if you don't mind?
The Lower East Side was his first like loungy, like smaller place I played at. It was called Abaya. I can't believe I just remember that actually. But and then like the first like kind of like cool like underground scene at the time, there was like the Sunday night party that was like the end up for like all the bad kids that were still out.
So
And
the little
industry
beat up zone.
people, like gay, straight, all like walks of life. It was just like a melting pot.
That's
and,
where
like,
what was all happening. The scene, basically.
yeah,
That's
it was
where-
really like cool mix of people. And yeah, this guy, Rob Fernandez, he gave me my first chance to like be like a real, let's say, real DJ. And he believed in me, and like rest in peace to him. But to this day, like I really owe the start of my career to him.
Shout out.
And yeah, rest in peace, Rob. Love you. Anyway, yeah, that was such a cool party because like if you didn't bring it, there was like some like drag queens in there that would be like,
Nah, you ain't about it.
Like, you're off, you know. So
Next club, baby.
yeah, so I guess like they put me there to see if I could like handle it, and then they're like, oh, okay, like you did good. And then he started booking me at shows all over New York.
Nice.
And that's how I got started.
That was the start.
Yeah.
And you didn't attend university or college then? You went,
No, I
you
did.
You
This is
Okay.
all like happening as I was.
Well, as you were
going-
studying as well.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. What were you studying and where?
Print journalism. I was at Hofstra.
Wow, well done.
Yeah. Thanks.
Sick.
I did graduate. I don't know how in New York City.
Graduated and became a famous DJ. It's a win-win.
Yeah, so I was like gonna be like a journalist. I started working in an art magazine.
Nice, that's
and
really
it's so
sick.
expensive to live in New York that I just was like doing any other like odd jobs I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
to survive, and then eventually just like gave into like my passion to DJ and kind of like
Nice.
left all that other stuff behind.
All in. What were you
But
working
I still love
as?
to write.
What were you working as while you were on that hustle mode?
Oh,
What your
I
little
was
side
I was
hustle
working at the art
other than
magazine.
DJing? Uh-huh.
I was working as a waitress.
Nice.
I was working at night as a waitress at a club and like doing like local DJ gigs.
Sweet. So doing it all.
So doing it all.
Active schedule, but making the money at the same time.
Yeah, it was a
Nice.
hustle. New York is not cheap, that's for
No.
sure. Especially
Where
when you're like
where
21.
in New York did you live when this was happening?
I lived all over.
All over.
I lived literally like in every borough
Yeah.
except for the Bronx, and then I ended up eventually living in Chelsea. That was like my favorite when I like actually moved into Manhattan, but like you can't really afford that
Yeah.
at first.
You got to work your way up.
Yeah,
there.
so I was
Yeah.
in Brooklyn, Queens, even Staten Island a little bit.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
True New Yorker.
Yeah.
But you're not originally from New York, right?
No, I grew up outside Philadelphia, so kind of like East Coast vibes my whole life until I moved to LA.
Would you say you're more of a New Yorker or a how do you say it? What do you say?
I
You're
would-
from Philadelphia.
I would say I'm definitely more of a New Yorker.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying like more like of like global citizen.
No,
but
yeah, I know what you mean. It's where you grew up. That's all you like. That's where you became who you are.
yeah, Philly's cool, but like New York, I really like came into my own. I felt like I was like not in a box there.
Yeah, you
I
could be
didn't-
yourself.
I could be myself. Like it was so welcoming to like diversity.
Yeah.
And they kind of celebrate diversity there. So I just felt at home as soon as
Nice.
I moved to New York.
Perfect.
Really.
So a little change of subject here. So tell us a little bit about your first EP, Cool Kids.
Yeah.
And how it helped skyrocket your career, which by the way was the best-selling track on the label of the year. So
Yeah.
congratulations to that. Well done.
Thanks.
So if you want to go, well, that was your first album, right?
It was my first EP.
EP,
I had
yeah.
put one track out on like a mini compilation on Seth Troxler's. Well, it was Vision Quest label at the time. And that kind of like got me a little bit of momentum.
Of course,
And
Seth was
then-
involved. What a legend.
Yeah.
Shout out to Seth
Thanks for
Troxler.
believing in me from the beginning too, Seth. And yeah, I then met Nick Fanciulli, and he was like, yeah, like I really like your track. Why don't you do something for our label, Saved? So I said, okay. And then Cool Kids is what came out of it. And I had no idea. When I first started climbing like the Beatport chart, I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Here we
and
go.
I remember it came out, I think it came out during Burning Man.
Wow.
And so I didn't like have any cell service for like 2 or 3 days. And then when I turned my phone back on, I was like
Ding, ding,
number
ding, ding, ding.
15. And I was like, oh my God.
That is gangster though, you know? You're like partying at Burning Man and then like having the best time of your life, and then it ends and you're almost like, okay, fuck, it's over. But then you go home to that and you finally made it and it's fucking blown up to be the amazing project it is. That must be crazy.
Yeah. And then, like
That
it was
is
like
really
really amazing because it went to number 2 and it was there for like a really long time. And I was like, it's going to go to number 1. And then I think it was like Jay Lumen Jay Lumen. I'll never forget this.
Hey, Jay Lumen, we're coming for you, buddy.
He wouldn't get out of the #1 spot. And I was like,
I don't even know who the fuck that
okay,
is, to be honest with you.
But yeah, that was a really amazing way to start, and it gave me like a boost, and I got like proper representation. I started touring more. And
That was a
it
certified
cool.
stamp.
Yeah, it's cool.
Sick. I haven't actually listened to it yet, but I'm going to.
It's fun, and I feel like it stands the test of time.
Yeah.
It's
How
fun.
long ago was it when
This
it came
was
out?
like 8 years ago.
8 years ago now.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So you've come a long way.
Yeah.
Would you say you've grown a lot from there and who you are now to compare to the DJ you started off? Would you say like, well, 100% you are definitely,
Yeah.
but like, what realms have you grown on in that specific thing? Like,
I
what have you
think
got
just,
better
like,
at over the years?
Being more comfortable in my own skin. I
Yeah.
think like, I think you have an edge as a female in a way, but it's a double-edged sword. And, I always thought I had to like kind of like blend in with the guys a little just so I didn't like look like I was trying to like exploit being a girl. And so I kind of like I wore like black and I played some like tougher music because I wanted to kind of like prove myself to my peers, which are like mostly it's male dominated. And then I think I like learned over time that like the more I just embrace like who I am
you
and
are,
like
the easier it
and
is.
just like dress like colorful and crazy.
You got
and,
sick
like,
style though, by the way. Her
Thank
style
you.
is sick. We've been going to some parties recently in Bali. She's always looking good. She's fresh.
Yeah, and the music just
she
like
knows what's
really being like true to myself and like my friends, whether they're guys and girls, they're like my greatest inspirations and like also my environment. So just like letting that be the real inspiration and I play like
100%.
a ton of different like genres and I like to mix it all together, make a journey.
That's what I mean. I only heard you play the first time when I at Jungle Fish in Ubud and you played fucking like Seth was amazing, but you were up there. Like your music is sick. You're one of my favorite DJs now in the world. Like seriously, and I'm not just saying that. Like I've seen like Capriati, all those guys in Ibiza, everyone like Amsterdam techno event. I've seen like Stefan Bogsden, Tale of Two, and you are up
Thank
there.
you. I
As one of my
appreciate
favorite
that.
DJs. Like even at my party, the music you playing, she couldn't let me go to sleep. I tried to go to sleep. I was dancing in my bed. It wasn't
You're not allowed
happening.
to go to sleep on your birthday.
That's true.
Come on.
So, Lauren, quick little question here. How would you describe your style in the music industry? You kind of went into that, but your let's say not how you actually look your style, but your style of music. How would you describe it to someone if they asked you?
I like to keep it groovy. I like to make sure there's like some soul to it. I don't ever play like clanking like pots and pans. Like I appreciate that, and I appreciate like all different types of music, like hard techno, like the fact that it made this whole big resurgence. And it's like this fast, crazy thing. Like the energy is amazing, but for me, I really like that like groove.
That's why I
and,
like
that low end, like subby,
Exactly.
like a warm feeling that like really hits you there, and you feel it.
That's what I mean. You create an atmosphere within the dance floor. Like when it's that high clanging, like you're there, but I just feel like everyone's just like boom, boom, boom. But when it's up to like that soul type of groovy stuff, you're more interactive with people on the dance floor. It brings out better emotion. It's my preferred genre of techno or house music.
Yeah, I like to keep it vibey, like the energy, whether it's daytime or nighttime, I switch it up a little if you're inside or outside. Like I really do pay attention to the environment a lot.
You have to though, that's crucial.
I think it's really important, for DJs to do that, not just play like only what they want to play. Play what you want to play, but pay attention to what's going on. And I really like to keep the girls happy because when the girls are happy, the guys are happy.
She's not wrong with that one.
And it's just and people like dancing, not just kind of like jumping around, like be able to like catch a vibe.
100%.
Sexy.
And you're doing it. You're doing it very well. So keep doing what you're doing because it's working and it's amazing. Who are some of your biggest influences when you were starting your DJ career?
Well, when I was living in New York, when I first started, Danny Tenaglia was he still is one of my biggest inspirations because he's so good at doing what, I aspire to do is like take this journey. It really works better with long sets. And sometimes I only get to play like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's tough. Dude.
But, he used to play from beginning to end of like these like 12-hour, 14-hour, 24-hour sets and just take you on this ride. And like he introduced me to so many different types of music through those nights and days that really broadened my perspective and understanding of electronic music and also showed me like you can do whatever you want. Like there's no rules.
There's no rules.
If you're an artist, like you should be able to paint outside the lines and create your own rules. And he kind of demonstrated that for me. And he's turning 60 next week. So happy birthday, Danny.
Happy birthday, Danny.
He also embraced me as a DJ when I was really early in my career. And I was so humbled and like blown away by that. So it gave me a lot of, I guess, like motivation to keep
Nice.
going
Yeah.
when I was kind of like, am I good? Do
He
I
was that
suck?
one who
Like-
believed in you, that you looked up to already, so that gave you that confidence boost and
Yeah.
that extra, just, you know what, girl, you got it, let's go.
Yeah, and like also like more people that are like, you know, I would now say they're in my peer group, but at the time I really looked up to like Jamie Jones and
Yeah.
Seth Troxler, even like Marco Carolla,
Yeah, Marco
who was
Carolla
like,
is fucking amazing.
he's a legend,
Yeah.
and you know he's been doing this forever,
Yeah.
and like he's really created a career that has evolved over time and just like reached this pinnacle that
it's true.
was like beyond, I think, you know, live DJ's wildest thoughts when you come from that underground techno scene.
Yeah, he's Italian, right, Marco Carolla?
Yeah, he's from Napoli,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know his whole career, like the way it went from being like crazy underground to like having like, you know, the top, let's say like jet set crowd that it's
Yeah, in
like the
Ibiza,
trendy
yeah,
thing to
the
do
one,
in
yeah,
Ibiza,
yeah,
like
yeah.
$10,000 more tables,
Yeah.
like for it to go in that trajectory. Sorry,
We're good.
is pretty astounding.
It is, and he
um,
keeps up the par. It's not just, he's always consistent. Like, he's always the number one DJ to see
Oh
when
yeah,
you go to Ibiza.
like I never hear a
Closings
bad set.
and
I've
opens,
heard
yeah.
amazing sets, but you never hear.
Yeah,
a
you
bad
never
one.
hear a
Yeah.
bad set. Exactly, that's very
And
true.
like for Jamie, like he
Oh, he's also
also
amazing.
created this amazing brand, and first with Hot Creations, and then now through Paradise, and you know his whole career is super inspiring.
Yeah.
And his vision, his style of music,
Yeah,
his DJing, he's like my
he's-
favorite.
yeah.
Like eye on the dance floor when I
He
hear
came
him,
to
I'm
Bali,
like,
yeah, he came to Bali
You know?
like a year or two ago, and I saw him play. He was fucking amazing. He had me dancing. You know those DJs? There's only some of them though that you once you get on the dance floor, you're not leaving until the set's over. He's
Yeah,
one of those
exactly.
DJs. Yeah, Seth's another one. Like he how he controls, like you said, and is aware of the crowd.
Journeys.
He is one of the best that does that, in my opinion.
Super special.
Yeah.
Like you're never gonna go away being like, oh, you didn't hear something interesting. Like you're always gonna hear something interesting, something cutting edge.
Yeah.
So like he always tries to push the envelope. He's always evolving. He's,
always
a
evolving.
master marketer.
He's just a genius. He's just a cool guy as well. Seth will get you on soon, my brother.
Yes.
Trust.
And there's a lot of more like underground DJs, like you know, like that have influenced me that are like kind of like I guess like not as popular.
Yeah.
But
That's
like
what makes it
Romanian
even
DJs.
better though. If you're not that high end popular like DJ, but you're just there, you know, like people know who you are. But,
Yeah.
You know, you're not in that gas of like mainstream. That's the best. That's perfect.
Yeah, like you'll go to Berlin and you'll hear like just like their resident like local DJs, and it'll just be like, whoa, like the
Yeah,
best sets you've ever heard in your life.
Underground
And,
shit.
You know, outside of Berlin, like people might not know
Yeah.
who they are, but super inspiring. Like at the festival in Poland, Garbage.
Yeah.
I wasn't this summer. It didn't happen, but the summer before, there was just like so many cool artists there that I'd never heard
You never
before.
heard or knew of.
But yeah, like it's really interesting where you go all over the world. There's just really a lot of talented people
Mm-hmm.
out there.
How has the tech and house scene changed from when you first started to what it is now? Like you weren't in the industry, let's say back in the day, but you were 8 years ago. That's a fucking long time. So
Yeah.
So how has it changed? How has it evolved? Has it been?
It's
you
grown.
say it's better. It's grown. You say for the good or
It's
for the
grown
bad?
so much. Like it went from being like this small little stage, like for example at like EDC, which is like the
Yeah.
biggest festival for electronic music in North America, and it went from being this like little side stage to being like on this giant stage.
Yeah.
So you can just see the interest, how it's grown and it's spread, and like maybe people that just used to like kind of like more like trance or progressive or EDM, more like the commercial, like David Guetta, like you know Tiesto or like that
Akon,
stuff,
all
or like
those.
Gateway,
Yeah.
and then now it's grown, and Carl Cox has also been like a huge like
pioneer.
person that has like really spread it to masses as
Carl
far as
Cox
like
is
big
a G.
festivals go.
He loves it here. He plays in Ulus a lot. Good
Yeah,
old
he's a
Carl.
cool dude.
He's another
Yeah.
another amazing DJ.
It's grown, and it's just like been like you hear it in Bali so much. Like you go into a cafe
Yeah.
and you hear this like what I would consider kind of like really underground tech house or techno or deep house or even old school music that I really grew up listening to. I hear it when I go into like restaurants or places here
Yeah,
in
Bali
Bali.
definitely has a good
and I'm
scene.
like, wow, like I
Yeah.
can't believe it's spread like
Yeah.
so far and wide, and it's really amazing to
That
see
must
the
be
network.
nice to see though. Like as someone who's part of it and you're contributing to and adding to it, to see that, does that give you inspiration? Like, okay, I want to do more. I want to be
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like I was working on music a lot during the beginning of quarantine, and I made my first album, and it's
How
called
was
La
that?
Cuesta. It's after the street I was living on in LA when I made it.
Nice.
And
Cuesta.
La Cuesta.
La Cuesta.
La
sorry.
Cuesta. And it's the
Cuesta.
name of the street, but it also means the ascension.
Okay.
And I thought that was a cool
like that
name
name, La
for
Cuesta.
it. Yeah,
I've never
and
heard that name
I'm
before.
gonna release it soon, but I'm kind of just
Coming
like waiting.
soon, guys. The album's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna start releasing track by track, but I was kind of
Okay.
just putting it on pause because
You're happy with it?
I'm really, really happy with it. I'm so
Nice.
excited to share
Well
it,
done.
but I was kind of like, no
Yeah, of
touring.
course.
It's kind of like I want to be able to play
You want
it.
to promote it, and you want
And
to
like,
be.
I just want to
yeah,
be able
yeah,
to play it and see people's reaction. That's like the
that's the main
reason that I
thing.
love to DJ. I
That's
love to
very true.
see people have a good time.
Yeah.
So if I just release it, it's like I know it's on Spotify. People are
Yeah,
enjoying
you're just
it.
seeing numbers. Fuck that.
I'm just seeing numbers, and like to me, that's not why I do
No,
it.
no.
And that's why I don't do a lot of live streams or like the
It's
the
different.
streaming. I don't mind, but for me, just like playing to a camera and I can't see people, I feel like mad awkward.
Yeah.
And I'm
No,
just
that's
like,
that's a
you
very
know,
good
like-
thing though. That because some DJs are the opposite. Maybe some DJs prefer to do that and make tracks at home without people seeing them. But you're up there in the front, like vibing out and being with the crowd. That's what makes good DJs, in my opinion.
It's inspiring to see like what's working, what's not working,
Yeah.
and how to like build a set from there.
For
so when you're
sure.
not seeing that, like
Yeah.
you're just kind of like, like I've practiced that like that way, bedroom DJ
Yeah.
before I can play in a club. That's not fun. The fun part for me is like vibing with people.
For sure. The next question actually, what is your favorite thing about DJing? She's answered it right there. So
Yes.
being with the people and vibing off their energy and tuning into their frequency. Great. What are some of your favorite classic songs or musicians?
Well, okay, this is hard.
It's a hard question, obviously.
Well,
you
no,
have
it's
a lot.
because I like all different kinds of music. So like if you're gonna,
It can be anything. It doesn't
yeah,
have to be.
I mean, I love like Prince and Janet Jackson
Yeah.
and like 80s music. And then like going into like 90s hip hop, like obviously like Biggie and Tupac and
course.
like all that stuff, Tribe.
Yeah, shout out to all those guys.
And then like
Legends.
classic rock, I love like Jimi Hendrix, like Led
See,
Zeppelin.
that's good. This is called amazing music taste, ladies and gentlemen. Listen,
Jefferson Airplane, like really Fleetwood Mac. Like I
Yeah.
love like all different,
all the legends.
yeah, the whole spectrum.
I actually watched
And then when it
Biggie.
comes to like house music, there's like the pioneers of it, like Louis Vega. I love like Masters at Work. That's like classic to me.
So all the
And
all,
then
the- all the
even
all
like
the
Denny
legends.
Tenaglia, like his productions to me, like music is the answer.
Yeah, to your
You
problems.
know, like exactly that song says it all. Like Daft Punk, Stardust, which is one half Daft Punk. Music Sounds Better with You is like all time like house music anthem.
Yeah, they just split up. That's quite sad. But I think they'll be back for sure.
Yeah,
They'll
I
do
mean,
something.
I don't know. It could be like a publicity stunt, but
That's what I mean.
I heard it's for real.
Yeah, it's
Sad
an
to
insider.
say.
Sad. Sorry, they are split up. They could come back together though. You never know. It's a crazy world we live in right now. I watched
You
the
can
Biggie-
say that again. Wait, so
watched
can
the-
I try one of these beers
Yeah,
or
of
what's
course,
going on?
yours are just down there for you.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah, you got the lager and the pale ale.
Which one do you like?
I prefer the pale ale because it's just a bit more smoother and lighter.
Is this one?
Yeah, this one,
Okay.
the other one. Pop it open. Let me know
Okay.
what you think. I put them down there. You didn't see me sneak them down.
I didn't see them. I was like, I'm watching you have a drink, and I'm like, what about me? It's like
My
happy
bad.
hour over here.
I'm so sorry. Shout out
Cheers.
Kura. Cheers, Lauren. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having
Very
me.
good, of course.
Good. Really
nice.
good.
You
I
like it?
Yeah.
Very good.
Really
Kaizai,
nice.
10% off. Don't forget to use the code. So you've played in some of the world's best clubs and festivals around the world, from Ibiza to Brazil, Coachella, DC10, the BPM Festival, fucking the music conference. You can go on. You're stacking them all up. What would you say is your favorite festival or venue or event to play out of the ones you've played in so far?
Okay, it's hard to just pick one, but
Yeah.
Ibiza, the energy is just so
Yes,
amazing.
yeah.
Like DC10, the energy is
I love
just
it
like
there.
you
So
know.
good.
And for me, that was like a major career goal. So
course, to play in
getting to
Ibiza?
do that, it's like
Yeah.
surreal.
It's like a footballer like making it to the final of like the World Cup. You know what I mean? Like the headline and playing at Ibiza is wow.
Like sometimes I have to like pinch myself. I'm like, okay, like this is actually happening. Like okay, but also Warong in Brazil.
Oh, Warong in Brazil, yeah.
That place is just magic.
It's
I played there
crazy,
like
huh?
7 or 8 times
Yeah.
now. Every time it just blows my mind. The people are so passionate
Brazilians,
about the music.
yeah, they know how to party as
The
well. that's for
venue, the
sure.
owners of the venue, it's just all magical. And every time I go there, I just love it.
Yeah.
And
I actually have a very good Brazilian homie who's from like 2 minutes down the road of where Warung is. He was born in Bali, but he moved back to Brazil, and he sends me videos of it all the time.
It's so sick.
And I'm just like, stop sending me videos.
That's like the one place in my mind, like besides like obviously like Ibiza, that I'm like I can't wait till things open again.
Yeah.
I'm like I need to get back
I'm
to
gonna be
Morocco.
with you. We're flying to Ibiza.
Come
Trust
on.
me. I've been going there every year because my mom basically like was living there before. Like, grew up there kind of. You know, when she was younger. So I've always been going every year, and I'm glad to have like connection through my mom and to go to that beautiful island because it's such an amazing place. Like it's the only island I can say outside of Bali that when I get off the plane, I just get this energy rush and I just feel it like
as soon as you see like a spectrum when you're landing, you're just like,
yes, we're ready to party. Like everyone on the plane going there is happy, they're talking to each other, but when you're leaving, everyone's sad, and it's kind of funny. It's like a big family over there. It
really is, and it creates like a worldwide network. Like also BPM Festival like really did create a worldwide network because it gave the artists an opportunity to kind of like relax and party after New Year's. It was in January, so a lot of the DJs would take like their vacation, so they'd come to play BPM and then they would just be there for 10 days. So like it's really cool is like, you know, someone that's going to the festival to see the DJs just at the parties, and then also for the DJs to like intermingle,
it's networking,
get to know each other, and then like collabs happen, and then like you just
the
meet
better
people.
Music comes out.
So that was really special time. I think it really set the mark for a lot of other festivals and kind of like created this like formula that I think a lot of other people have followed. That really does work and it's cool. And then also like Coachella is like, if for North America, it's like the best. And like last time I played, I got to go do a back-to-back with Hudson 82, Nick Fanchuli. And that was like a dream come true, obviously, to get to play main slot. That's when you're like, oh my gosh, I have a trailer at Coachella. Like, you're like, oh, am I rock star? Like, yes, okay, cool. But yeah, it's all like been such an amazing journey. And like sometimes even talking about it, I'm like, that will really happen?
Yeah, you're like, fuck, you're gonna go back. Like, you're looking at memories on your phone, like, wait, what's this?
I know.
It's only the beginning.
I feel super grateful.
It's
and like even taking this year to like kind of just like let it all digest.
Yeah, gratitude.
Because sometimes when you're moving so fast, you don't like let it all sink in. You're just like on to the next, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. What's next? What's next? What's next? And like you really want to keep the momentum alive. And for me, like when I have all these opportunities, I don't want to say no because
you can't.
I just want to keep going and like get to the next level.
But what you said is really important. That's smart.
This like pause was really like a good thing. Get to try some new things.
Mentally as well, like being a DJ, I'm sure it's all this. It's amazing to say you're like, well, I'm the best DJ, I'm the blah blah blah, but it's not hard. I mean, it's not easy. Sorry, it's fucking tough. Like you're doing back-to-back sets, you're partying, you're doing it like no sleep, and then you're on the plane, you're flying to another thing, and it's not you get to chill. You're gonna go do the same thing. You got to live up to that crowd. So it's not easy. It's
you never want to let anybody down, right?
No,
so
exactly.
It's just like you want to always do
you
your best.
Be your best, and
that's a great motivation too, though. Like I find when I'm busy, that's when I'm working the hardest. Yeah. I'm doing my best.
Because all the momentum's there. You got it behind you. So you're like, what can I do?
Now I'm just like a surfer bum. No, I'm like...
You are surfing though as well in Bali, which is helping you get your mind off things, no? For sure.
Yeah, I miss it a lot. Like I've gotten a few opportunities to play in Bali and like a couple like parties for friends.
Yeah.
And it's been such a nice breath of fresh air to like dive back in with like fresh ears and like really see what I'm feeling now.
New crowd of people as well. That's completely new because like here you get people from everywhere, so it's kind of like being at a festival almost,
exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
and people are so excited to dance because they haven't for a long time.
Because you're an amazing DJ as well.
Also, people have been locked up, like they've been cooped up. So I think the energy. I can't wait to see what happens when this all really gets unleashed.
It's gonna be dangerous. I tell you that. There's gonna be no podcast for a while when everything gets back open. No, I'm joking. We're gonna stay on that grind. So worst place you played.
Worst place.
Sorry, have a swig of that beer. I saw you were going for it.
Worst place. This is a hard one. Not because I don't even want to offend anybody. Because I just don't even look at it like that. Like I'm not just saying this, but I always look at every opportunity as like a blessing. So I never really looked at it like that. Was like the worst place.
Even if it's bad.
I don't look at it as like a bad gig. Like maybe a gig that like didn't have as many people as I would hope for, or
just a turnout.
I don't know. I'm having a really hard time thinking of this. Oh, maybe okay. It wasn't the worst.
Here we are. It just came in.
No, it wasn't the worst because it was still a really cool festival, but like snow bombing, like I had this whole thing in my head. I'm like in the Alps. I'm like playing to like these people. There's like an outdoor, like kind of like beer garden, but like on the hill, on the
on
mountain.
the ski mountain.
Yeah, and like when it was my turn to play, it was just like sleeting rain. So there was like nobody there.
It's
And
like,
I was just like,
oh no.
and also everyone that was skiing was like pretty intoxicated. So I was
As
scared.
you are on the ski slopes.
I was scared to ski,
Yeah.
so I was like, all right, well, this is kind of failed mission. But the festival itself is really
Where
cool.
was that, in France?
It's in
Courchevel? Val d'Isère?
Swiss Alps.
Swiss Alps, okay.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's in the Alps.
I've always
It was
seen
like
those-
4 or 5 years ago.
I see those videos on YouTube, like they set up those, like, I don't know, circle events or anything when they're out at those ski resorts, and,
Yeah.
and it never looks good. Like, yeah, I don't know why, it just never looks like to par compared to any.
Well, they
other
do it at the
venue.
end of the
It's
season,
hard.
so it's like could be a hit or a miss with the
Yeah,
conditions.
and it's windy, it's snowy.
Yeah.
People are like on the top of a fucking hill. Like when you're partying, you want to get fucked up. I think, you know. So they're like, I can't really get fucked up because I got to ski like 800 meters down.
You see
this.
a lot of interesting crashing. People are wearing costumes. It's pretty comical.
So when you are traveling and you're in your mojo, you're on your momentum, you're doing world tours. Are you doing? Do you have a team behind you, or are you doing it with just like 2 or 3 of your personal people who you set up yourself, or are you like part of an organization?
I have 2 agents.
Okay.
I have one for North and South America and one for Europe and like Asia and the rest of the world. And yeah, those are like my core backbone. And then I have
It's a squad.
yeah, I have an assistant, Ava. She's fucking awesome. Shout
As
out
assistants
Ava.
are, every assistant is.
Yeah, I miss her. Like she's back in
Ava, you coming to
LA.
Bali?
Yeah, she's made my life a lot easier, and she helps things work a little easier. But yeah, I don't really travel with a tour manager. I
manage yourself, no?
I manage myself.
That's really good. That's really good.
I've had a manager briefly, but I've like been doing this a long time, so I feel like I know yes or no. Like if I want to do something, if I'm gonna have a manager, which anyone out there is watching, that can take me to the next level, that like do things for me that I can't do for myself, or like bring new opportunities to the table, in different spheres.
The door's open.
Then the door is totally open. Yeah.
Makes sense. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna bite into these chocolates actually.
Okay.
But while I'm doing this, one of the longest sets. Well, what was the longest set you ever played, and where was it?
I think I played for like 12 or 13 hours in Honolulu.
Oh, in Hawaii.
In Hawaii. It was on my birthday. This was like maybe like
Sick.
6 years ago. At the time, I think they said it was the record longest set, but then I think Lee Foss or somebody beat me. But yeah, that was like a long one. I've done some other long ones.
But how was it? Did you enjoy every moment of it?
Yeah, I like lose track of time after
Yeah, of course.
after the first 2 hours. It's a shame most sets are only 2 hours because after the first 2 hours you just totally lose track.
Do you want one of these?
Burning Man, I've played some pretty long sets. Yeah.
Take one. We're doing a taste test here. Mason chocolates. So they're vegan as well. So.
Well, I'm vegetarian, so.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
No, I'm saying I'm happy that they're vegan because like it's hard to find good vegan chocolate. I feel like.
Wow. No.
I'm not usually like a huge fan of milk chocolate, but I really like this.
I'm going for another one. They're amazing. Mason Bali. Mason chocolates.
They're really, really good.
They're
I'm not
good,
just
huh?
saying that.
Wow. Shout out. Amazing packaging. Fucking even better product. If you want them, link in the description. Amazing
Delicious.
chocolate. Wow, they're very good. They almost taste like that Kinder type of.
Yeah, and then the almond on the inside is really nice.
If you want, let me know. They're over here.
I'm gonna take one right here.
Really good. A little chocolate pitch stop. So 14 hours. Wow, that's like. You don't like you said. You get into it. You don't really count. You don't. Do you have a timer there, or you just no? You say it would make it worse. Yeah, if you could see, you're just in the moment. You're living.
Yeah, like I'll look at if there's like a festival or something. They usually have a timer.
You have set times. Yeah.
But, yeah,
This is
but-
on your birthday, so it was your own little thing. Sick. So, who's your favorite artist? And if you could play back to back with your favorite artist, who would it be? One artist out there.
Like a singer, or like another DJ.
This is to play. So DJ back to back with it.
Back
It
to
could be
back?
anyone. Or do you have someone who is your favorite?
I mean, it's hard. It's a hard question. There's so many people that would be really interesting. Maybe like it's already 3 people, so it would be way too many to have another person. Never mind. I'm gonna pick one of the people, but I'm gonna say Diad Soundaram from Apollonia.
Okay.
I just think he is like such an amazing DJ and producer, and I've admired him for a long time.
Where's he
and
from?
His taste in music. He's from France,
Okay.
but I believe he lives in Portugal now.
Lisbon?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
a lot
so.
of people are in Lisbon, in the scene. Sorry, the scene at the moment. A lot of creative people, a lot of good DJs. Like my homie Tiago here in Bali is a really good DJ. He's
Yeah,
out
he's
there. He's from
awesome.
there, to be fair, but he moved to Bali. But I think he's back. I love that city. It's really cool. It's cheap as well. It's really cheap. Really nice people. Sick,
Yeah.
like, you know when you walk down the street in a new city and you actually just like see interesting artifacts and like I don't know, the buildings are like run down, but there's graffiti. It's a really lovely place. I recommend going to Lisbon.
I liked it. It was cool. I didn't get to
Sick.
spend enough time there. I was only there for a couple of days, but it is cool. As you were saying, it's like a mixture of old and new.
If you could set up your decks and your setup in any location in the world, anywhere, like it could be at Machu Picchu, it could be at a temple somewhere, you know, what location are you picking?
I don't know. I'm trying to think what would be like the most epic. That's a hard one. Maybe. It's crazy with like circle. A lot of people have done these. Like I know Nina Kravitz did like Eiffel Tower, which is like pretty. And she did like Great Wall of China too, which are both like pretty epic.
The Eiffel Tower would be pretty sick.
I wouldn't want to like do anything that was like a temple here would be really dope. But I think that's like against the rules probably.
No, 100%.
I mean, I would want to do something from like a space station or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, actually, no. We had this idea one time to do it from a submarine, like to do like a boiler room from like a submarine. That would be my favorite, but I think the acoustics might be a little like weird.
But like if you get a good squat together and you're in a nice little submarine underwater, that could get dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, the pyramids would be sick.
Pyramids would be so dope. Even
The
like, you
pyramids
know,
would be
in
lit.
Mexico and in like Chichen Itza or something like that would be really cool.
You go to South America a lot, no? Yeah.
I was, when I was touring. Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite country in South America?
I mean, Brazil.
Brazil, yeah,
it's
of
just,
course.
yeah.
It's got everything to
Peru,
offer.
Peru is also amazing, but for like DJing, I would say like Brazil.
Brazil.
But like I've gone to Peru and like really enjoyed it for like not DJing.
Yeah, that little llama hat you had, I remember. No, was that
Yeah,
from
that's
Peru?
from Ecuador.
Ecuador, sorry.
Yeah.
I like that little.
I was gonna wear
llama
that
hat.
today too. I should have.
Okay, a little deeper question here, Norm. What does music mean to you, and what do you think the power music has behind it that it can like change and influence the world we currently live in?
Yeah, it's like a unity. It's a unifying thread that doesn't matter how old or young or what color your skin is or how rich or poor you are, what language you speak. It's a unifying thread that, you know, brings people together. And I think that's so powerful.
Yeah.
And you see people that don't even know how to speak this language, like singing the song or on the dance floor, just like vibing with people that maybe they can't even have a conversation with. But that energy is there and that acknowledgement. I think it's so important to have that acknowledgement of other people and other cultures and like
Brings people together.
it really does. And it's like such a beautiful message, a beautiful thing to be able to spread throughout the world.
100%. You could have said it any better. I look at it as a religion, like music. If anyone asks me what my religion is, I'll say music. Like,
yeah, for sure.
And also, like, I see it as like music is one of the only free drugs we have because you take it, like, you know what I mean? You get away. Like, I could just listen. Like me, I'm always listening to music. I'm in the shower, I'm listening to music. I'm on the bike, I'm listening to music. Like, music is such a big part of my life. Like, I could literally not think about living without music. There's no way.
I couldn't give it up. I could give up so many other things and not that.
No.
And I also think that, like, you know, when people they just like lose themselves in the music and then they're able to like have almost like a meditation that like, a lot of people they can't sit down and meditate but they can have that moment where they're just like their mind isn't going and then like they reach this like almost like spiritual connection.
You realm down your own little journeys through songs you listen to. Like you can just vibe out on your own to one song, and even if you're feeling a certain way, sometimes you feel sad, and you just get into that down sad lane of music, which helps you get out of it. Or if you're feeling happy, like you're excited, you put on that one tune that will get you even more excited. Or even like pre-game sports, like athletes, they listen to certain songs that gets them in that mindset. Do you do that before you play? Is there like a go-to song that you put on? Like, let's go, we're ready to go. Like when you're getting ready or something.
I mean, I'm usually like going through the music I'm planning to play for that night. So it's usually different. I don't have like one.
You don't have that one, two.
No, not really.
She does. She just doesn't want to share it. No,
It's embarrassing.
How important is implementing a balanced lifestyle in the industry of being a DJ? Of like you said, actually taking time off and stepping back and like, okay, I need to work on myself, but I also or taking a step to the left and saying I need to work on my music. I need to like get away from everyone, all the parties, and actually tunnel vision in. How important is realizing that and having that balance in the industry you're in?
Yeah, I think balance is important in everything, but especially when you're living such a fast-paced life and also just like around so much stimulation all the time. I think it's good to like take a step back and kind of like go within and see what has like moved you and inspired you and kind of like recreate your vision when you're trying to make new music, when you have like too many influences and like you're kind of like making a collage of like everything you've kind of like become like a sponge almost. I think it's good to like take a step back and like really center yourself and see like, where am I really at, so you can like put something out like new and original. Of course you're gonna be inspired and influenced, but as far as like health too, I really encourage people to like, don't like burn yourself out, because it can definitely happen in this industry.
Don't get sucked into that dark side of the party scene.
And I've seen it and it's not pretty. And I've also seen other people that have like just flourished because they have that balance, and people that have grown up and gone from being kind of like a mess to like just
getting
really
out of it.
Sober and like just thriving.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful when you see that transformation of people, and you see it in their sets and just overall in their life how amazing that can be when you take it really seriously.
It's true. I feel like going through though that phase of being an addict or going through too much parties and stuff like that really helps and molds and grows you as a person. Like it's almost good that certain people go through that, because then it makes them a better version of who they are. It's like they shed a new skin, a new layer.
Yeah, if you can find that balance, like it's important. It's like important. A slippery
balance
slope.
In life is it's a number one.
It's also people around you, like
it's with
You
everything.
see people
in
like.
life.
Like unfortunately, like rest in peace, Avicii. Like he was like the top of his game, and the people around him, like they should have protected him.
100%.
And it's like I have such a strong group of friends and family. Like I have a support system. Like I love you guys if you're watching.
Shout out for keeping Lord safe.
It's really important, and they keep you grounded. And they're the people that are like, yo. What's going on?
It's like Queen, the movie Queen. Like when you get that one wrong motherfucker in your team, when you're at that high level of success and you have your entourage and you're fucking killing it in the game and the industry. One wrong motherfucker in that small group of circle you have built around you will fuck everything up. There's a lot of snakes in the grass, people. You gotta be aware. You gotta be aware. So it's important to have that family around you, for sure. Wait, okay, we had that question already, sorry. So outside of being a DJ, what would you say some of your main passions are right now?
Well, this year I learned to surf, and like that's become a huge passion, and I just love to like.
She's a beast on the longboard.
I don't want to call myself a beast yet, but I'm getting better. But yeah, just waking up early, which I never do because I'm usually working at night. I've always been a night person since I was a kid.
Of course, you have to be. To be a DJ, you have to be. Unless
Naturally,
you're doing
love
just morning sets.
nighttime. I love the nightlife, and like much to my mother's dismay, when I was little, like I was like in my room, like lighting candles and listening to weird music. She was like, "What the heck are you doing? Like,
what rituals are you doing in there?"
But yeah, so now I'm like a morning person, which is like totally
surfing. You need to be a morning person to do the
like
surf.
literally waking up excited. Where like before, if someone woke me up at like 7 a.m., I'd be like, "Fuck
that's me right now." Get the fuck out of here. It could be the president trying to meet me and have a conversation. I'd be like, fuck off.
It totally changed my whole perspective of mornings. I love it. I went this morning. It was great. Like the rainy season is almost over here, so the waves are getting good again, and that has been a huge thing for me this year. Playing chess also became a huge thing for me this year. I've got a Queen's Gambit. I was doing it before Queen's Gambit. Everyone's like, Queen's. I'm like, no, I was playing before the show came out. But it's become like a kind of a little addiction for me too.
I gotta play you in a game of chess, son.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We're on.
I like to just do like outside, outdoorsy stuff. Like I was doing a lot of diving the past couple months. And
Raja Ampat. How was that diving? It's one of the best.
Komodo.
Yeah, one of the best dives in the world to go there.
So grateful to be able to go on that trip with like all these amazing people, and I hadn't been diving for like 4 or 5 years, and I just did like 10 dives in a row, and it was just so amazing. It was
big manta rays,
huge manta rays, turtles, sharks, like puffer fish, you name it. so beautiful, a whole other world down there.
Yeah,
I'm a Pisces, so like I like to be under the sea.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. So what do you think makes a successful DJ? If you could just say, give me three things that you say in your perception of what a successful DJ is. There's three aspects of which they have.
Well, you have to play 6 sets first of all, produce music that people are like enjoying.
Yeah.
And be able to travel,
Yeah.
like being on airplanes and like being in airports and just enjoy the bumpy road that comes along with it. And like, you know, night person, basically. That was 4 things, but
You can go as many as you want, but yeah, 100%.
yeah, I think there's like a lot of really good DJs that there's like not all those things there, and they could be an amazing DJ or an amazing producer.
Yeah.
And like for some reason it's just not fully working, and like I still need to fully I need to like strengthen the production side. I need to do more producing. Like I've always just been like DJing was my first passion. Producing came along after.
Yeah, I feel like, well, not all the time, but you find your kind of producing like realm through playing first. I think if you play and you're a successful DJ, you're gonna be an even better producer than like just start. You know what I mean? And vice versa as well in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I've
all
seen
a
some really
journey.
good producers that they go into DJing and like they're not quite sure how to like read the crowd or program the set.
Exactly.
When you're a DJ and you have to like work your way up,
Yeah.
you're like opening, and so you have to learn how to open a room to nobody,
Exactly.
or you're playing some like place that like is just like people are asking for music you don't even play.
Yeah.
So you have to like know how to like respond to
Yeah.
that. And also like for me, I really like to work in a lot of different genres and stuff. When as someone's like just producing music and then they start DJing, they'll be really more like focused on like their own style, which I like more eclectic styles. But I mean, if you can have the whole package, it's really sky's the limit.
Yeah, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
The world's your oyster. And 3 tips of advice to someone young who wants to become a professional DJ, or someone who wants to become in the music industry, become a creator in that realm. What 3 pieces of advice would you give someone young?
Be yourself.
Yeah,
Just like
that's a great
really
one.
listen to yourself and see what get inspired, but like really be yourself and don't let anybody tell you to be anybody else or make you feel like you should be anybody else. And like work hard, and if you're really loving it's your passion, like don't quit. Like, there's gonna be parts when you're like, oh, I should quit, I'm not good enough. Like if it's really what you want to do, just like don't give up and just work really hard.
Perseverance.
Yeah, perseverance. Yeah. And then the third thing is just like get really creative and like don't
be afraid to try new shit.
go outside the lines and have your own voice.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's 3 really good points. So
Yeah.
anyone out there, upcoming DJs, so no insider. If you could have the opportunity right now on the spot to make, well, not on the spot, let's say just like in the upcoming days to make a track or a song or a piece of art, you'd say, with any musician in the world. It doesn't have to be in the scene. It can be a singer. It can be a rapper. Anyone. And you put a track together. Who are you choosing and why?
I really would love to like have the opportunity to use remix, or if I ever could work with her, FKA Twigs. She's an artist I just think so creative. I love her voice, and she's always pushing herself to learn like new disciplines, like as an entertainer, from like voguing to like samurai fighting to pole dancing. She is like a true artist.
Yeah.
And like when you see even her like her press photos and stuff, it's just like she's just like
Where's she
someone I
from?
really would love to work with. London.
She's
Yeah,
English.
she's UK.
Sick.
Yeah,
So-
that's the first person that came to mind for me.
Yeah, no, but nice.
Yeah.
Sick. I don't know who she is, but I want to look into it. After I heard samurai fighting and I'm in.
And pole dancing.
And pole dancing, so it was all pole dancing, not samurai fighting. I'm joking. If you had the opportunity to go back in time to any moment, it could be 10,000 years ago. It could be a week ago. What are you choosing? And why? It could be a party that was thrown that one of the greatest parties. What are you choosing? One event in our timeline of life.
It sounds like such like a nightlife person thing to say, but I would like love to go to Studio 54.
Yeah, no, yeah, I would 100%. I would.
Just like
I didn't know my
see
answer. I
at,
found
like
my
the height
answer.
of it.
Yeah,
and
just a peak
see,
of
like,
it. Yeah,
the decadence and the debauchery.
just
and,
freedom, complete
Yeah.
freedom. Like the closest
Yeah.
thing to that now has to be, I think, Bergheim. Like it's it's not as but like where else in the world?
even that became touristy.
Yeah,
now,
of
though,
course.
yeah.
That's what I mean. Like where else is doing that right now? Where you can just go to a place and just express yourself and live life.
Hedonistic and just like do whatever you want and just like really. I mean, also that time there was other like really cool places in New York, like Paradise Garage was like the anti-Studio 54, which I would also love to see that. I think that time period, because it was like the dawn of what I love now is when it comes from like disco into like electronic music. That's why it kind of like interests me so much, I think.
That's a good answer. I think I would want to go to Studio 54 as well, that's for sure.
I'm like thinking of like Roman Empire.
Yeah, like, nope, Studio 54. It's a good one. If you could change one thing in our current world right now, anything, what are you changing? It's a deep question. It's good to get everyone's perception of what they would change the world.
I would just change the division. Like, there's just so much division, and
for no reason whatsoever.
Even though it's like people are fighting to like, you know, for their causes or their beliefs or whatever. Like, I just feel like it's so divided, and
I feel like the media is a big part to play in that, though.
Yeah, I wish there was like a really. I mean, what is credible media now? It's so hard to say, but I just think
it doesn't exist. You can't. It's
well, this could be
ridiculous.
credible media.
This is that's my slogan now. The only credible media source.
Exactly. I mean, everything's like subjective. So and people are reporting on the best interests of the corporations that own them a lot of times when it's like the main media outlets. So just be careful of that. But also, I think. I wish we could just be more unified as humans.
Good change. That would solve a lot of fucking unnecessary bullshit and problems. Yeah. And it's such the thing that pisses me off.
And stop being so greedy.
It's something so fucking greedy. Yeah, we're talking to you. Stop being so greedy. But it's such a simple. It's not like it's a fucking complex formula that you need to fix and it's so hard to do. It's the simplest thing. That's what makes it so like it's the simplest thing to change. Like, we're all fucking one.
We are one.
Can you not tell that like we are one. And at the end of the day, like, we're all gonna be end up in the same place. Probably.
Everyone could just like, instead of the vaccine, could do like a little bit of ayahuasca and like see that. Like,
that's all
we're all one.
The real vaccine needs to be an ayahuasca dosage.
Plant medicine,
or 5 grams of mushrooms. Like, that should be the vaccine. Or big spat spliff. Like, it will solve everything. Trust me. It's just an eye opener of what just all that bullshit and unnecessary thing the media and the industry puts into us at such a young age. Like, some people aren't aware. They're brainwashed into it, and then they're stuck in the system. It's completely fucked.
That's why I thank like God for being a DJ, because I remember in New York, I was coming home like Monday morning from like being out for the weekend, and I was just seeing all the people going to work, and I was like, they're like robots. I just remember just looking at everyone like, I'm never gonna be like that. Like, I'm never gonna be just like this robot like in this system. Yep. And it was like a really big driving factor for like
I had that exact
creating the life that I've created, and I would really suggest people examine that too.
Just be aware. That's it. Be aware. Like, when I graduated from high school, I went on a Euro trip, you know? Like, I always wanted to do that with the boys after we graduated. And I went to Europe for like 4 months, traveled like around like Barcelona, Lisbon, Amsterdam, Copenhagen, like did Ibiza, did a lot. And then I went back to London specifically. I didn't go back to Bali straight away because I went to London. I was like, okay, I'm going to work here for like 4 to 6 months, you know? Like, actually get a job that's in the system and become part of it so I know. And I went and I was on the tube every morning, on that fucking tube in London, going to fucking work at a champagne bar. And it was that moment where you're like, you look around, you're like, I'm not gonna fucking do this. I made the conscious decision to that day. I'm like, I'm not gonna be part of this. And I did that specifically to myself because I knew if I did it and I went in there and I at least tried it, it would put that in my mindset. It's like, you don't have to be a rat in the fucking system. You can go out there and do whatever you want and fucking kill it. So once I did that, I hopped over here and started my thing. So yeah, I think everyone that's creative or is an architect or entrepreneur or whatever they are has that moment, like you said, where they realize that I'm not gonna be,
Yeah, we're all meant to be creators. So
we all are. Everyone. It's not like you can't do it. Everyone has their own superpower. They just need to find the confidence or the drive to just unleash it.
Yes.
Yeah. Little preach there. All right, a little quick fire question round to wrap everything up.
Okay.
One place to visit before you die.
Ibiza.
No, not like no. She's been before Ibiza again, of course.
Well, is this advice for people or for me?
No, this is you. This is a personal thing.
Oh, this is for me?
Yeah. This is for you.
I was
Advice.
out.
Go to Ibiza. That's fucking amazing
I
advice.
I thought it was for everyone else. Like everyone. No.
It's gonna be Lauren Lane
space.
podcast. One piece of amazing advice from Lauren Lane. Go to Ibiza. You're not wrong though.
No, space. Like obviously, I want to go to outer space.
Outer space. Okay.
Yeah.
Elon Musk. You know who to put on the first spaceship to go up. One thing to do before you die. You want to do one thing.
Create a song that stands the test of time that people listen to after I'm gone.
You'll do it. I know you will. You got that.
I hope so.
One thing you do daily.
Gratitude. I think when I wake up in the morning, I always practice. I have gratitude practice, and
Great
I say
answer.
prayers.
Amazing answer.
Yeah.
That one thing is just to take that time of day, hold gratitude on both shoulders throughout your life, because it will put you in the right path. To just have it like 1 minute out to say thank you for where you are, who you have around you is important.
Yeah, and for
It really
anyone
is.
that's like struggling right now, like just being able to take that 5 minutes and really tap into that, it really does raise your vibe and your mood.
You tune into that higher frequency. It's all
Yeah.
about tuning into those frequencies, and being grateful is a channel to accessing that higher level of frequency for sure.
You can just switch your mood like that and just be remembering like, oh my gosh, like I have so much to be thankful for. It switches everything from negativity to positivity.
Okay, one thing you do monthly.
Monthly?
Yeah. Ayahuasca.
Oh my God. That would be aggressive, but what do I do monthly?
Make music.
Well, definitely make music. I don't know. This is a hard one. Monthly. I don't know. This is a tough one.
Can be anything.
Well, I set intentions, you know, of what for like moon. So like new moon, full moon, and that's kind of like a monthly cycle, I guess.
Okay, nice. Haven't heard that one before.
Yeah, I let things go, or I set intentions.
It's new beginnings.
Yeah.
Nice, sick.
Yeah.
I know I should try that.
Yeah.
I think it definitely would help. One thing you always wanted to learn.
How to sing.
How to sing.
Yeah, I'm just like not a great singer, and I'm like kind of working on it a little
Singing
bit more.
is I have probably if I start singing, the show's getting shut down. That's for sure.
Yeah, people ask me sometimes like, "Oh, are you a singer?" Because I maybe like my voice might sound like it, but I'm just like, you definitely don't want to sing. Like, even in karaoke, it's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. And if you're good at karaoke and you go to karaoke, karaoke is about having that bad voice and just getting fucked up and singing. Honestly, if you could play at one location for the rest of your life, what location is it? You have to choose one. Only
What?
one place to DJ again. Full
What?
crowd, full atmosphere, but there's only one venue. Where is it? DC 10, Warung, or somewhere more personal.
Like I'm envisioning maybe something that I want to create.
Yeah.
And it's
So-
like kind of like a beach club.
Yeah.
or
So yeah, your
something.
own spot.
My own
Yeah,
spot.
your own spot.
And like
Sick
that's what I
answer.
see like for my future.
Yes.
Maybe when I don't want to like tour as much anymore.
Yeah.
To like create my own spot.
That's what I'm saying.
And have
Your
all my
brand, though,
friends
as
come and
well,
play there,
yes.
but like in this paradise where everyone wants to come anyway. But that's just like I can just like chill there.
I see that for you.
Enjoy
though.
life.
Like, when you're building, you should do some clothing as well. Honestly, now you're in Bali with all the fabrics and stuff.
I would
you do,
love
it's not-
to.
Like a little Lauren, because you got the eye for fashion. I tell you, it would be sick.
Thank you.
And your own spot, so that's a good answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
Little beach club.
Yeah.
Hopefully in Bali or Ibiza somewhere.
Bali or Ibiza for sure.
Yeah. Would you rather have a permanent, well-paid residency, but you can only stay in that country, or constantly travel the world, but you also get paid well? So you're
I
travel, yeah, 100%.
Like residency is wonderful. Maybe I'll say that like
But
maybe
it
when I'm a
just
little
gets boring.
older,
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, maybe I don't want to travel as much. But I love getting on airplanes. I
Yeah,
love just
that's what you
going
said.
places.
It's part
like,
of
meeting people.
It's part of being in the scene.
And just experiencing different cultures,
Yeah.
different stuff. Like especially when I'm alone, like you never dive into something as much as like when you're traveling alone.
It's the best thing for you.
Yeah.
You've said it before here. Travel, trust me. It is like the hack to life. Once you
Yeah.
start traveling, with the things you learn, the opportunities you get into, the people you meet, the memories you make, it's an all-in-one package. So start
Definitely.
traveling. All right, Lauren, I think we're good on time. I think
Yeah,
we wrap
thank
things up.
you.
We could talk for a lot more, but thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
All the best. Thank you so much. And guys, Mason chocolates are fucking delicious. I'm going to
Really
go
good.
home and devour these chocolates. So shout out to
Beer.
Mason. Mason chocolates, all the link in the description. Kura beer. Always, it's a fuel to the podcast. Cheers. Thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Check out Kai's Eye, links in the description. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we're out. Peace.
Bye.
Perfect. Thank you.